Now, no matter what your plans are for Thailand, if you are going to be spending some time here, of course, you're going to need a place to live, and more than likely, you are going to be renting. Now, you've seen all the price comparison videos, but there are a few things that I feel like most people do not go over when it comes to the reality of renting in Thailand. My name is Ian. You are watching Tempus TV. Let's get into it. Now, I would say the vast majority of things when it comes to rentals in Thailand are pretty much the same when it comes to deposits, contracts, things like that. A lot of things are the same, but there are a few key differences that I think will be a very big influence on where you decide to stay, what you decide you want out of your Thailand condo, most likely. Today, we're not going to touch on villas or houses or anything like that, even though most of the things we go over are going to kind of cover both. Today, we are focusing mainly on condos. Let's get it started. And our first point today, it's like how we mentioned, you've seen all the price comparison videos, and generally it makes sense. We all want to go check out nice places. This may seem obvious to some, but I kind of got caught up in it, is not everything in Thailand is, of course, a luxury condo. Now, of course, that makes sense. Not everything is at the top tier. But one thing I didn't really think about, and I really didn't understand when I came to Thailand, is everything from how the condos are laid out to amenities in the building. When it comes to Western and Thai standards, things are very different. Not when it comes to the quality of everything in general, but for the most part, Westerners look for a few boxes to check when it comes to condos. And honestly, a few of those Thais aren't really worried about. So when you are planning on what to expect when you come to Thailand to find your rental, just understand that not only, of course, is there a wide range of budgets and, level of luxury when it comes to condos, but some buildings are going to be catered towards a more Thai demographic, and some buildings are going to be catered more towards a Western demographic, and that's going to be really important when we get into one or two later points in the video, so make sure you stick around. Now, another thing I think is very important when it comes to planning what you're going to do and where you're going to live, even though there are a lot of travelers, there are a lot of foreigners in Thailand. Now, even when you're in the more tourist travel destinations, even when you're in the cities where more foreigners tend to live, there's going to be a lot more of those condos that are catered towards Thai people. And one thing that comes with that, since things are fewer and far between, a lot of these places, especially the really popular ones, the condos on the beach, maybe the places that are a little more budget friendly, they do fill up quick. It is not out of the ordinary to try to find a rental in a condo building, especially during the busy season, and have them be completely booked up. One way to try to get around this is to sign contracts and stuff in the off season, because that's when a lot of people are either coming or going. It's going to be much harder if you're here during the winter trying to find it. So I do think it's good to get ahead of the curve and go ahead and start checking in on places before you get here. I wouldn't suggest just kind of showing up here, especially in the busy season, and hoping for the best. Now, one thing to really understand, especially if you're planning on buying a condo here, is when it comes to buying condos in any building, there's something called Thai quota. So you may or may not know that it is very hard to purchase land as a foreigner in Thailand, but with condos, you're good to go. You can have a condo in your name. There's no funky business you got to do. But with that said, the majority of every building has to be held by Thai nationals. I don't know if it's 51 or 60%. I'm pretty sure it's 51%. That is something to understand. Just because you see a building that might have 250 units available, that does not mean that all 250 units can be purchased by foreigners. So if you are planning on purchasing, since these places can fill up so quick, I think it is a good idea to get some eyes maybe on developments while they're still being built, because pretty much once they're built and everybody sees how nice they are, they tend to go pretty quick. Now, like we mentioned earlier, of course, not everything in Thailand is super cheap. Now, in general, of course, what you can get here for X amount is more than likely than you're gonna be able to get for that same amount in America. But if you are on a budget especially, this does not mean you're gonna be able to get whatever you want for $1,000 a month. There are things from $150 a month to $4,000 a month. There's a big scale, just like there is in America. You can get some amazing deals, but there is one caveat to getting those deals a lot of the time, which I'll get into a little bit more here in a second. Now, a big thing that can be kind of misleading if you are watching these, Thailand condo tours and things like that, is one thing to understand. It seems pretty obvious, but you might not think about it until you actually get here. Now, especially if you're in one of these really popular spots, one of these places that's right on the beach, has the pools on the roof, all that stuff, you are not going to have all those amenities to yourself, of course. One thing that I've noticed when I was online watching a bunch of condo tour videos myself here in Thailand, a lot of those videos were made around the big C word time, so places were empty. Recently, I went and checked out another popular condo here in Jomtien. That video will be coming soon, but I was really surprised how crowded all the amenities were. This place has like 4 different pools, gyms, all that stuff, and every place was pretty crowded. So if you are in one of those popular spots, especially during the busy season, just get ready to know that there are going to be a lot of other people there. And even though it is against the rules in Thailand, Airbnb is still a thing very often. So during that busy season, it's safe to say a lot of your neighbors are probably going to be coming and going. Now our next point is something, and probably the main piece of advice that I give to anybody that's coming to Thailand and they want to grab a condo, is that especially when you're on a budget, there's going to be trade-offs with certain things, okay? So if you're on a budget, let's say $600 a month, you can get into a really nice building for $600 US a month. But the trade-off for that is if you want a really nice building, you're probably going to have to sacrifice the size of your room. If you want a bigger room and maybe an older building, that's one thing. The building's probably going to be older. The amenities in the building or just on the premises might be a little less extravagant than the other places down here on the beach. So I do really suggest that you're honest with yourself about what you need and what you want. Because trust me, I've done it. I've gone into a place and been like, oh, the pool's super awesome, the gym's amazing, and then you're living in this tiny little room where, let's be honest, even if you are a big pool or gym person, you're going to be spending way more time in the room. If you can live in a tiny room and it doesn't bother you, more power to you. But me, I need a little bit more space even though I'm by myself. So that's a big one to think about if you're on a budget. Just be ready. It's going to be hard to kind of find the whole package. You know, say you're going on listing sites, you're on Fazwaz, Agoda, anything like that, and you're looking at monthly prices. One thing to really understand is a lot of the times these listings are going to be the prices for longer term contracts. Now, if you are doing short term, a month or two, you're still going to be able to find good deals relative to America, but you're not going to be able to find, you know, the really nice $200 a month condo for a month or two. Maybe if you get lucky, but the likelihood is just a lot less. A lot of the times when you do see these listings, it's going to be for at least a year or more. So if you're planning on staying less than that, you are probably going to pay a premium. That's just the name of the game pretty much anywhere in the world. If you're doing monthly stuff, it's going to be more expensive. You can still find good deals, but just know you're only really going to get the best deals if you are signing at least 6 months, most likely a year or longer. Congratulations, you are now a little bit more knowledgeable when it comes to hunting for condos in Thailand. If you guys have any tips, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Stay tuned for another condo tour video coming early this week. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.